Hey there, SusanArruda here. I'm so excited to be here at Strengthen You with Ceazar, who is an owner and RMT. Actually, he's the rock of the RMT world.
I've heard that once or twice before. I never get tired of hearing it.
That's taken.
I always appreciate the compliment.
Thank you. I've been getting treatments from Ceazar for many years now, unfortunately. But this gym is killer. Thank you. Thank you for doing this with us.
Absolutely,
So
my
we're doing
pleasure.
a do this, not that, and we're covering the deadlift, which I happen to think is the most overrated exercise. I do stiff-legged deadlifts and I do variations of deadlifts, but the true deadlift is one of those, if you're a power lifter, if you're a guy, okay, I don't know. But you can develop your muscles in so many other ways.
Absolutely, I totally agree with
Yeah.
that. I mean, a difference in opinion. I think it's a great exercise. Overrated, yes it can be. I think it's a great exercise if done correctly. Okay? So these are kind of the tips that I've taught myself through years of training of doing deadlifts and stuff like that as well. Now mind you, I deadlift maybe once a month. It's not like a regular thing that I do, so I totally understand where you're coming from when it comes to like overrated stuff and all that. There are other exercises you can do to kind of complement this as well, or to kind of separate it.
So basically,
Yes.
we want to do this and do it safely. So we can avoid injury because a lot of people get injured doing deadlifts.
Absolutely. So the deadlift is one of the exercises that we actually see a lot of patients for. Just
Wow.
because it's being done incorrectly, when patients are coming with low back issues and they still go to the gym and they still deadlift, so on and so forth, that's an issue as well. That's why we say there's other exercises that you can do besides the deadlift. But, like I said earlier, if done correctly, deadlift is a great exercise. So these are some of the tips that I've kind of taught myself throughout the years of deadlift. Okay? So,
Okay?
first thing that we want to do.
Positioning.
Positioning, absolutely. So, how I position myself is legs about shoulder width apart. Okay, so we're going to start off with her legs at shoulder width apart. So for myself, I do shoulder width apart as well. Sometimes people keep the toes straight. My toes or feet or legs in a natural position tend to curve a little bit, right? So I'm not going to fight that. I'm
So
going to
you're
put
not forcing.
Exactly. I'm not forcing an unnatural movement on my body or anything like that.
Important.
Right? So, next thing we want to do is we want to step towards the bar. Now for myself, I like to keep my shins about ½ an inch to an inch away from the bar. Okay? After that, I take a look at my foot. So now I want that bar to be kind of on top of the mid of my foot. Okay? Now when I bend over to grab that bar, my arms are just outside my legs. Okay, so I'm not squatting to pick it up. I'm actually just bending over to pick it up a little bit, right? So now, when I'm in this position, I try to pretend like I'm bending the bar. So what happens when you do that is you tend to lock your shoulder blades and your lats in place. And it keeps that bar closer to your shin. You feel that? You try to bend the bar. And now, when we try to get up in that deadlift, I'm hinging at the hip. My chest is going up to the ceiling and I'm standing as straight as I can. Now, what you shouldn't be doing is a lot of times when people kind of go up, they tend to kind of hyperextend, and that's when injury occurs as well. Okay, so I go up to the point where I feel my butt cheeks contracting, and then that's about it. Then I go back down, that's a slow, and back.
So not hyperextending.
Not hyperextending. I find a lot of people will hyperextend. A lot of people tend to round their shoulders when they're picking up the bar as well. That's why when I say pretend like you're trying to bend the bar, it locks your shoulders and your shoulder blades in place. That way your shoulders don't round forward when you're standing up at that bar.
So again, you want to press your shoulders down, to pop the chest out,
Yes, ma'am.
pull the abs in,
Yes, ma'am.
and
And
exhale,
then
all
exhale,
the way.
stand up. Exactly.
Pop the chest out at the top, squeeze the glutes.
Still feel overrated to you? Now, I get it, deadlift, very tough exercise, especially with a bar. What you can do is you can kind of compensate for it by doing, if you want to kind of make it a little easier, get the form down, you can do it with dumbbells. Okay, so at least with the dumbbells, we're not fixated in that position with the bar. So same thing, we're just kind of going all the way down. I'm keeping the dumbbells as close to my shin as possible. I'm standing up straight, I'm looking at the hip, my chest is pointing up towards the ceiling. And again, I'm not hyperextending, I'm only going up to the point where I feel my butt cheeks contracting. So again, down, and back up.
Who shouldn't do a deadlift? Like a back condition, a knee anything. Like, do not do this.
Okay, so people with sciatica, sharpshooting pain going down the back of their legs, deadlift probably not the best exercise for. Tall people, you know what I mean? It's a lot hard. I'm not saying tall people shouldn't deadlift, but it's a lot harder for tall people to deadlift than it is shorter people. Just because your levers are a lot longer. So now, I'm not saying don't deadlift, but it is a lot harder to deadlift if you're a little tall. People with any kind of back condition, for example, like any acute disc herniations, any acute sciatica, anything that has any type of low back issue that you got going on, deadlift probably not the best thing for you.
You want to cover off on the differences between a deadlift and a stiff-legged deadlift?
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
Because
yeah, for
isn't
sure.
it just more of a...
Well, a stiff-legged deadlift, how I would teach, is more so like your legs are a little closer to the hip. So you're going over here, and then when I do a stiff leg, I kind of just go up, and I don't go all the way up. I kind of just stop right here. Now, different people do it different ways, but I kind of stop right here, just to keep the contraction on my butt and my hamstrings. I feel like when I go all the way up, I kind of lose that contraction a little bit. So, same principles. You know, you bend over on my midfoot. When I grab the bar, I lock my shoulders in place. I hinge the hip. Stand straight. Back down. Back up. I don't go all the way up. So the difference is you're incorporating a lot more hamstring, glutes, so on and so forth. So more so the posterior chain as opposed to total body.
Because I almost think of a deadlift as a squat.
Yes. Yeah, so it's not quite a squat because you're not really squatting. You're kind of just going down like this, and it's more of a hip hinging movement.
Yeah.
Right? Deadlift, great exercise. Terrible if you do it incorrectly. But if you do it incorrectly, my name is Ceazar, RMT, at Strength Be Fitness and Therapy. If you blow your back up, you're more than welcome to come see us.
Is it counter or complement? Counter?
Instead of this exercise, do something else.
Do this, not that.
No, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
What's that word?